and dogs, please pull up a chair and sit on your knees, for we have a story to tell you that we are still learning about. Welcome to Talk the Walk. My name is Henry Moses.
I'm Jenny Tucker.
And I'm Jared Moreland, and we are super happy to be here, and we thank you for joining us wherever you may be. Welcome to Talk the Walk.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Happy Monday. How's everybody's weekend?
Actually, my weekend was great.
Was it great?
Yeah, pretty low key.
You know,
I got entertained
a few weekends ago was 4th of July.
Oh, yeah.
And you know whose people's weekends are not great?
People that are really bugged by fireworks.
Yeah. Have y'all ever gotten on Facebook and kind of Facebook or whatever, you know, neighborhood app?
Neighborhood pages.
Man, people get
next door
crazy.
neighbor. Oh, my gosh.
And they get pretty self-righteous about it. Almost like they think they're God in the moment. To like, people were putting up signs when to call 911. Have y'all seen those?
Yes.
Oh,
when not to call 911. And they are funny. I like to read them because...
So do you just read,
it's funny
or do you
to
participate?
No, I don't. You're the king pot stirrer. I got to be in the mood. You were born in the mood.
Yeah, I used to tell on me and Skip a little bit. One of our listeners, Skip and I used to
Skip was on here.
Yeah, but he and I used to intentionally like stir pots. We had a specific guy that we kind of always went after that was a pretty active on Facebook, had a lot of followers, and for whatever reason, Skip or myself could stoke his fire pretty good. Then I got convicted about, you know, provoking people to anger and things, but every once in a while, that side of me rears back up. And during the 4th of July weekend, it's like these people have never lived through a 4th of July weekend ever. I'm like, it's the same. I'm 52 years old. And it's the same every year. And what's funny is somebody will be like, man, when do they stop popping fireworks? And somebody will say, you must be new to the neighborhood. No, I've lived here for 13 years and just going on and on. Do they know how dry it is? And then they post a picture of a fire that's 15 miles northeast of Amarillo. And I know the intersection that they're showing, like, when is this blank going to stop? Do y'all ever learn? I said, that picture is from an intersection that's 15.3 miles northeast of here. That's in the middle of nowhere.
We're in that on the thing.
I did say that. And she's like, it's still dry. When are we going to get it? I said, last I checked, none of the fires started tonight that they were talking about were started by fireworks. They were started by lightning because we had a lightning storm on the 4th of July.
Oh, okay.
And then she's like, you know what? I just hope somebody gets up and mows their lawn at 6 o'clock in the morning next to you. I said, they probably should because they need to beat the heat. Like, it won't bother me at all. That's why I have foam insulation. So carry on. Like, I just cannot not provoke. I'm not saying
it has your
righteous.
actual name on it?
Yes. And there are people that go to my church that are on there that they're like, Jared, you kind of got them wound up, didn't you?
Are they like Jared or are they like Pastor Jared? You
I
kind of got them wound up.
I do think about that, but
I don't know that that's really that bad. I mean, is it provoking to anger or is it just like putting someone in their place?
Well, it depends on the intent of your heart.
Are you putting someone in their place? I mean,
are you trying to help them be better or are you trying to get them riled up?
I'm trying to get them to loosen up and enjoy life.
Exactly.
Because
trying to help them
it's like
better.
only their dogs are affected. Like, my dogs are scared too.
Let me tell you, hold on. Let me tell you what I don't care about on 4th of July.
What's that?
Anybody's dog.
Yeah, I'm with.
And I'm saying, let's fight over it.
Yeah.
You can fight me. You can fight me on Talk the Walk page.
What do you mean?
Do not care. I get tired of like my dog. A dog is a dog. It's not a human.
Right.
But pets are so elevated at this point that, you know, we're like putting them in baby baskets stuff. So
be careful.
Giving them birthdays.
I'm not. I'm putting
having people over
right now,
for
Jared.
birthdays.
Jared has his hand up.
No, I completely embrace or agree and admit it's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
It is.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear about your dog.
Do you do that, Jared?
Yes.
Okay.
But I mean,
I forgot.
But here's my thing. There are medicines Like we have calming chews we can give our dogs, but they really don't get too freaked out. When I had Buddy, when I first got Buddy, when he was 3 days in my possession because he was a puppy, I took him to a 4th of July deal. So he doesn't get as freaked out. Mm-hmm. My in-laws had a dog that something traumatic. If he was left outside, he would claw the fence until his feet and face started bleeding. Like he was so traumatized. So like, you got to adjust, right? If I got to put them in a crate or I put a little thunder deal on them. I mean, I've done things like that.
You fix it. This is your problem. This is not the person.
I don't put it on somebody. It's not everybody else's fault.
Yes. And I'm not saying that everybody like should or should not be popping fireworks in their yard. I don't even have a dog in that fight. Even though when I lived in the country, we did the biggest show in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
I'm not going to like defend the rightness or the wrongness of this. I'm just going to say the rightness or the wrongness of this doesn't depend on your dog's anxiety. That's just the way I feel about it.
No, I would agree with that. Like move or do something or put them in a crate or put them in a soundproof room. There are things you can do. You can go to your vet and they will give you, I can't remember the name, they'll give you a medicine that will basically tranquilize your dog and they'll be peaceful and
perfect.
So here's a, I was trying to find this.
Are you trying to find
one I would say, by the way, I would say, you know, I have a dog and he does now. Thankfully, he doesn't hear as good. He's old, and so it's less than it used to be. But he would start shaking, and it's a little annoying because I don't go to bed late at night. I go to bed at a decent hour.
Yes,
and so I got my neighbors popping them off.
Oh, me too. I am annoyed when they do it.
On a Sunday night.
Yes,
but I also think that I made the decision to move the country. I love the country for a reason. This is something I have to tolerate about twice a year.
That's it.
And so what? And my neighbors are pretty great. So so what? They do things that annoy me. Okay, you know, but as a whole, it's pretty great. And you know how I get my dog to calm down? I tell him, knock it off. And I nudge him.
Yeah.
When he's shaking like crazy, I tell him, knock it off. And I give him a nudge. Guess what? He looks at me with puppy dog eyes, then he stops.
It's like a child when they're running and they fall down and they get hurt. They look up to see your reaction. Yeah. If you go, oh, they will cry. If you say, you're good, but get up.
That's right.
They get up and they're tougher for it.
That's right. And he's gotten better over the years. And, you know, hey, calm down. It's going to be all right. And if it's not, go get wherever your safe place is. And that's fine. Go do that. I might turn on a movie so it kind of drowns it out a little bit.
Right. Fine. You help them. Yeah. And I do believe in helping your animals. Sure. I have too, and I love them so
Proverbs says, blessed is the good master who's good to his pets and all that. Or good to his animals.
Absolutely.
But let me read this sign real quick. This is the every 4th of July. I see it on the River Road neighborhood page. Somebody always, without fail, usually multiple people will post it, but it's calling and it has little fireworks on it and everything. It's very festive. It says calling 911. It's very snarky on the 4th of July. And then it's got a red no and a green yes bracket.
That went around in our neighborhood.
Yes. So no, people are setting off fireworks. No, don't call 911. Yes, people just set their house on fire. Go ahead and call 911. No, fireworks debris is landing in my yard. Don't call 911. Yes, body parts are landing in my yard. Go ahead and call 911. No, my wife is too upset to sleep. Don't call 911. Yes, my wife won't wake up. Go ahead and call 911. That's a good idea. No, final no. My cat is upset and hiding. Don't call him. Don't do it. Yes, my cat is shooting back. Yeah, you should call.
That's great. To the extent, so day one, I'm just responding to people's complaints. Day two, which would be the 5th, I learned that this year they made an exception and allowed fireworks stands to stay open an extra day because of the 250th year Independence Day.
Okay.
And so I couldn't help myself. On that Sunday, I was like, just FYI, just brace yourselves. Fireworks stands are currently open. They were granted an extra day. So round 2 is tonight. And I mean, people get fired up. And then it rained out. Like we got a lot of rain that night unexpectedly. And I said, looks like the fireworks shooters got rained out. But be careful. Don't flex on your neighbors. They will pay you back tomorrow night. And so then somebody commented, they said, if the U.S. wins against Belgium, y'all better get ready. U.S. didn't win against Belgium, but they still went ham that night again. So
they did.
I went pretty good 3 days just stirring people up.
On that
and they have to keep restating. Do people not realize the law?
Is it Bill? It might be. What's that scripture? Blessed are the pot stirrers.
Yeah. I couldn't help it, but those
is that what that's? I can't remember.
Those neighborhood pages wear me out. I've been blocked from ours before.
Oh, they're funny. That man, I tell you what, man. Yeah, you get a neighborhood page going.
I just usually want
like here's one. Whoever this dude, which I do feel bad for him. But here's a post. This is whoever shot my dog better pray to the God that made him. I don't find him. And yeah, like that's the kind of crazy stuff you see on.
But okay, hold on. I want to tell this guy something. I want to ask you a question.
He's probably a listener. Okay.
I mean, did your dog attack someone? Like what happened?
I had a dog chasing me on my bicycle the other day, and I was starting I tried to ride fast enough, and I did, but I started getting tired, and I thought, I'm about to get mad.
Right.
And then you're going down. If I get off this bike, it's going to be over for you.
Now, if someone came, the implications to me of that, my first thought is someone came in his yard and shot his dog. But when I really think about it, why would someone do that?
Yep.
So I wonder if your dog was terrorizing someone.
That's right.
It's just a question.
The level of concern on these pages is crazy. And then my favorite is when people reveal that they're just looking for attention. Like you could Google and get most of the answers you're trying to get on these group pages.
Like what?
Does anybody know where to get tacos on this 4th of July day? Anybody know a good place to get tacos?
And then they want the page to fit, because people will. That's a question that people will fill up the comment section of that.
And then it never fails that somebody's like, oh, I wouldn't buy them there. That's the worst.
Oh, yeah. Turns into a big old, like, who cares? Good for you.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have to buy them there. Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, that's funny. Why? Let's get into it. We got... So I was thinking, I'm working on some changes at work, and I was thinking about it, and I've always felt like I was a pretty good worker, a pretty good employee, and that I didn't do, I was at least above average. But I've also always felt like I could definitely do more, and it wouldn't take a whole lot of extra effort to do more, right? And in sales, and you have your ups, your downs. In sales, you have your seasons where you're really going strong. Then you get comfortable while you're in your strong season, and so you're not working as hard, bringing in more production, and so your sales go down. So you go work hard, and then your sales go up because you worked hard, and it's a roller coaster in general, right? So, but I thought about it. I was like, I get in these slumps because I'm not, what does it look like to truly honor God? To honor God in the way you do things. I've heard in the past, if you're, that you should honor God in how you keep your house, your lawn mowed, things up to date, and so on and so forth, to the best of your ability, obviously. But your house maintenance to where it's not an eyesore, doing those types of things, that you glorify God in the way you handle your business there. So, but I was thinking about too, at work, the way we do our work on a consistent basis. So, I've started shifting that a lot, and I mean, the results are crazy and a lot of good fruit coming out of it. But I thought, man, this I got to think about. I was like, this is the kind of action that people see, and especially if you're someone that espouses Christ, that professes Christ loudly, which we do, but they see you're, say, kicking back and leaving early all the time, and you're supposed to be a leader, and you're kind of lackadaisical, or you just go about hoping everything's going to work all right, but not really being a doer, not being someone that's a tip of the spear. Not that everybody's a leader. I'm not even saying that, but you kind of are. If you're a person that works hard nowadays, you kind of just automatically are a leader, because not most people don't do that. And so they're going to look at you and be like, man, what's that dude got? That's when they're going to ask, what's different about that? Be prepared to give a defense of your faith, a reason for the hope that's in you, right? So if you see somebody just goes and goes and goes, and they don't get tired, and they have great endurance, and they always are happy, and they have friends, they have people that thrive because of the way that they treat people, and right, you're going to ask, what's that person about? I mean, that's who people want to know about. They don't want to know about the person that's in the office half the day and right. In the billiards hall half the day and going home at 3:00 every day. You know, nobody will. Hey, what's with that guy? What's that guy doing? How can I be more like that? Nobody asks that. So anyway, work ethic, just work ethic in the workplace, and how it glorifies or honors God. That's what we're going to talk about today. So
I think it's awesome. There's a lot of scripture that wraps around that.
Yeah, man.
And I think there's two things: how you work and then how you lead. I think for me at times, or I don't know if I've really thought this, but I'm always challenging myself as a leader. I am a leader in the workplace, and I have work to do, but most of my work is leading. And honestly, Hank, I think it was you and I talking privately or off the podcast a couple of weeks ago. I've just been in this grind. It's been a difficult season at work. And I am a leader, and thankfully I haven't gone as far as David did in the Bible, but his gravest mistake was, as the king, he was supposed to be on the battlefield with his people, and he laid back, and that's when the whole Bathsheba thing happened. And I think that's I got into that funk as a leader, is like I got way removed from the action with my team, and it was like a subtle complacency that just began to cloud over me. And I've been looking for, like, God, what are you trying to teach me here? What's the test? And it was real revealing, Hank, when you said a couple of weeks ago, like, man, just think about David. I was like, well, golly, I'm glad I hadn't shacked up with Bathsheba or nothing like that. But that's what it is. I got away from it as a leader, and then I'm not even being a good employee.
And it's a subtle drift, like you don't realize it.
No, you look up and you're like, oh, I'm a long way from shore.
Yeah.
I think I have a very similar story. You know, the mortgage industry was, bounding in leaps and bounds, was moving forward very quickly, and our company became pretty successful over some time. And it stayed that way until it just didn't. Overnight, it felt like overnight in 2022, just everything crashed. And I had to come in. I had to figure out really the books. I had numbers that were put in front of me, but there were so many of them. Like, pluses are good, negatives are bad. I didn't really drill down on them. Well, as time went on, and we're talking about just thousands of lines and columns of Excel spreadsheet numbers that you have to be tedious about and go through it.
Very mundane.
Oh my gosh. And so, but I had to figure this out or go under. 70% of our industry went under in the following 2 years. And it was figure out what these pages say and how to cut cost, real cost, or you go under too. And so, but that kind of complacency and not really just kind of letting things lead me this way and that, I don't think that was it wasn't a super admirable way to be, but I am thankful the thing about being thankful for your trials, I'm thankful that God does do that. He says you can't be that way and even eat. You know what I mean? You can't be that way. He makes his government and his economical system to where if you're not doing things his way, there's just this decline that you're going to face, And so, yeah, I can relate to that. Then we get kind of slow. I mean, we'd been slow. And so nobody was having to work that hard. And boy, this year things amped up. I got employees that were mad because I began to really expect them to do their jobs. I had some quit on me, and I had to get in there and do the job. And I will say the things that I let slip in my knowledge alone were just rough. I didn't keep up with what was going on. I didn't. I had a title officer call me today. Her name's Shell Marie, and she was like, "What are you doing to my file?" I was like, shoot. And what am I doing? I'm out because I had to literally process these files this month. And I said, what are we doing? Tell me what's going on, And she tells me, and I know it's partially my fault because I haven't been up on all the things that you're supposed to do as a processor, and I'm having to fill these positions right now. And so I fixed it, but it really is. You can fall into that complacency and almost a lackadaisical way of doing your life and your business to where maybe you're just floating on a lazy river when really you should be, stroking and swimming and going somewhere instead of letting that river take you somewhere. That
so tells my story. I mean, I was fat catted. I mean, my shops were overperforming. I was the shining example in all the meetings. My boss has always been like, when your work's done, go home. I mean, some days it may be 2:00, some days it may be 6:00, but I don't care. And I was in a season like, man, those early days were more and more frequent. And it was just like you're saying, Jenny, it felt like it just came to a stop overnight. But if I look back, now the warning signs were there. The warning signs were there. And then I'm reassimilating into the industry. And so much has changed in 4 years. Vendors and suppliers and resources. And I'm trying to help. And I'm struggling because I haven't been in the grind. Mm-hmm. And, the Lord, was it in James, count it all joy of the trials you go through because the testing of your faith produces perseverance, and perseverance produces, it's crazy. So, I'm going through that. There's muscles in my body that haven't been worked in a while.
Same.
Like Proverbs 22:9 says, "Do you see a man skillful in his work? He will stand before kings. He will not stand before obscure men." I just
that's cool.
Skillful. Like, how do you get to being skillful? Like, you can just be taking up space. You can be decent. There are people that are able to do trades, and then people that are skillful at trades. People that are able to do careers, do jobs. I mean, you look at attorneys, all attorneys, like they all carry the same quote unquote title, attorney, but they're not all the same. They don't all get paid the same.
Right.
The ones that really embrace, and what's crazy? So I was at Pantex for 9 years, right? And I definitely would not say I was skillful at that job, didn't embrace it, and wanted to get out and go do something else. And I probably that really was not for me, but I regret my approach to it. I regret my attitude towards it. And then doing this, over the last few years, I did think, God, man, I wish I was doing something else. And this is hard. And all the stuff. And I just thought, oh, this isn't, this isn't what I'm gifted towards. And I had all those kind of thoughts to it. But now, over the last 3 or 4 weeks, since I've changed my approach and changed my way of thinking and the way that I want to glorify, my approach starts with every day saying, God, help me to glorify you. And I mean it. I'm not just saying the words. I want to glorify you in this day. I want to bless the people around me. I want to perform in a way that makes people say, what's different about him suddenly? What's going on over here? That opens the door to the message of the gospel. And guess what? Like now, I'm not seeing really a ton of the financial fruit yet, but relationally, the people I've gotten to go out and meet, and my comfort zone when having conversations with it, because it's so different. It's so different. The fruit is bearing, and I have a zeal, a passion. I love my job now. I genuinely don't know if I'd want to do anything else. I am now to the point I'm getting vision for what I want to do over the next 10 years. It's very exciting. I wake up and I don't always feel, I mean, I take beatings some days, but I just know this is just part of it. This is just part of it. I've got to wipe this slate clean. You don't embrace any win too highly, and you don't embrace and you don't mourn over any loss too long.
Absolutely.
You got to move. You got to put them behind you and move past it quick. Celebrate for a day, mourn for a day, and on to the next. The next day's a new day. You got to get up. You got to go out. You got to get in there, and the inspiration will come. You'll begin to feel it just from doing the work. We were created to do that, by the way. Yeah. Our bodies are not created to sit around. You know, I've talked about it on here before, how I read an article that talked about basically you should get up every 30 minutes and move around for a couple minutes, because our organs aren't designed to sit in the sitting position for long periods of time. It's bad for our organs, much less our skeletal structure and nervous system and all that kind of stuff.
So do you want a stand-up desk at work?
I don't, but I do get up and walk around every 30. I just set a timer on my phone every 30 minutes. I get up for 2.5 minutes. I may stretch, I may whatever, but I just get my body moving a little bit. And then I sit back down 2 minutes, and then I sit back down. But point being, like, we're created to do. We don't feel fulfilled. We think that, I just want to retire. I just want to sit around and reap. I just want to reap. I don't want to sow. Mm-hmm. I just want to reap. I just want all the reaping. That just generally doesn't work out. The people are
go to the mailbox.
Fulfilling.
Just get your check out of the mailbox.
That's it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love what Solomon says in Proverbs 6. He's giving, there's some parental advice, but for the sake of reading a long text, Proverbs 6 verse 6 says, "Go to the ant, you lazy one." Uses an ant as an example. "Go to the ant, you lazy one. Observe its ways and be wise, which having no chief, officer, or ruler, prepares its food in the summer, gathers its provision in the harvest. How long will you lie down, you lazy one? When will you arise from your sleep? A little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest. Then your poverty will come in like a drifter, and your need like an armed man." Don't be lazy.
It's just his economy. Like, it is a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest.
And
I love the rhythm of the way it says that. Yes. Yep. It's how it works. If you do not do things to the glory, if you do just go on that lazy, slothful way, that's what you're going to reap. You're going to reap that poverty. That's it every single time. So if you're sitting there, and I'm not talking about today, but if you're sitting in a position where you can't make ends meet, and you're on the decline, maybe ask yourself that, especially the young people. The young people, we hear, we can't afford to get a house. We can't afford to live on our own. I got news. First of all, for a long time, nobody could. You always had to live with your family until you got, until you got on your feet, saved money, earned your way up, used those jobs as stepping stools, all of that. But you have kids now that they barely work, and they wonder why they can't afford an apartment and why they can't afford, and they're getting Starbucks every day,
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. They have a cell phone.
Yeah.
Working 30 hours a week.
And they eat out all the time.
They always eat out. They don't
when we were young,
ramen noodles.
I remember hearing of multiple people that had multiple jobs.
Oh, yeah. That's how it was.
So many people would work their full-time job, and then they had a part-time job that they worked in the evenings or on the weekend.
And you would literally eat rice and beans and rice.
We were raised on rice and beans and chicken legs
cornbread,
and chicken thighs,
puffed rice.
Yeah.
Puffed rice. True.
Puffed rice and powdered milk.
Powdered milk. Back then, powdered milk was cheap. Have you seen it now?
No.
It's super expensive.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Give me a break.
They started making like chai teas and stuff with it, and so now it's super expensive.
Really? So you're just cutting the poor man out.
That's it.
It's the man putting it to the poor man.
I think something Hank said a minute ago, because he was talking about his zeal and his life and his diligence. He said, "I haven't seen the financial fruit, but yada, yada, yada." I think sometimes where we get hoodwinked is we think the only fruit is $1. Mm-hmm. Like that's the only fruit you'll see. I mean, being diligent and not lazy and having a great attitude and being joyous, just the health aspect and the relationships. Yes. There's more pieces of fruit than just $1 bill.
Yep.
And I think we think that the only fruit to be seen is the financial gain, and it's not the only thing.
It's not even the best fruit.
No,
yeah, it's not even the best fruit. Now, I appreciate it.
Me too. I was thinking about that. Like the thing is the last 3 years, I am a totally different person than I was 3 years ago. And over the last 3 years, man, we faced off with some trials, beginning with the downturn of the industry, a frivolous lawsuit that truly was frivolous, and just lack. We had to face lack like we haven't faced in a very long time. Our lack, it was not like, a 20-year-old's lack. I'm not saying that, but we definitely had to think about every dime, and I love it. Those 3 years, I think of these cozy moments where we're like, okay, sandwich down in the break room instead of a burger. We have to go down. And there was something about it that it did grow us, and it was good time.
You know what? And even the special seasons don't feel special when you're living that cozy life. I'm thinking specifically when you said that, I don't know why I was responded, but Christmas and things like that have felt weird over the last few years for me. And I think because it's been such a comfortable season that I've been in that I can't get any more comfort. But man, when you're in the thick of it and you're grinding it out and you get a few days off for Christmas with your family, it's special.
It is.
It's special. It's not as special when every day's like Christmas.
Yeah.
And you can be comfortable and hardworking all at the same time. I mean, there is, because the harder your work, the better you think, the better you strategize, the more good decisions you make. Yeah, you're going to be, especially in America, you're going to, even in the state it is now, you're definitely going to flourish if you're a hard worker. You're either going to promote up in your job, or your business is going to thrive, whatever business that you're in. But you're going to thrive, and you're going to have better financial gain because of it, and be comfortable. But now think about too, I mean, you think about so there's nothing wrong, but you can't stop there. You can't get comfortable to the point you say, like you were talking about, Jared, where, okay, now I can sit back. Now I'm on the rooftop like David. I'm not going out to battle with my man. You still got to strap up every morning.
That's right.
That is where our bodies, it's like Popeye eating spinach. Our spinach is action.
I love that.
Our spinach is
all
action.
Young people are like,
you want to not be depressed. Yeah, go. I was going to say, go Google it, go Grok it, go Chat GPT it. But our spinach is action. We are to be creators, to do. And when we do that, like you were talking about, Jared, even before, like, I mean, financially right now, I'm not in the best position. And it was to the point that I was waking up in the middle of the night, stressed out about it. Wouldn't be able to go back to sleep because I'd be thinking about it. And I'm not in any better position at the moment.
But I am. Is.
Yeah, my heart, my mental state, all that kind of stuff, because I'm like in warp drive, and I have vision. Now, I will say it's a good idea to have vision. You better, if you don't have vision, it's going to be really hard. So I really sat and worked on my vision and planning stuff out for the future and a direction to go and where I wanted to get to before I reevaluate the next step and all these different things, and took time to really, really think on it, pray on it. And that helped a ton and does continue to help a ton. And thankfully I had a coach that helped me to work through that stuff. And so I encourage you, like, find somebody around you that maybe can help you. But it's a good idea, man. We need to have vision. But we're created to be doers. But the peace that comes with, and yeah, man, I'm doing the right. I'm honoring God. This dam's gonna break because I'm going to kick it down. I'm honoring God. There's no doubt that God's laws are true. You follow God's laws. Even if you're not a Christian, you follow God's laws. You're going to have blessings. And so I feel, I hate the word pride, but one of these days I'm going to do a study on pride, because I think the word pride gets probably used for too many things in the English language that isn't exactly the kind of pride that, I'm proud of my kid. I'm proud of their achievements and their strength. They're growing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's not the same
it's
kind
such
of
a natural feeling to be like always used in a bad connotation,
right?
Or given in that light. Yeah.
Yes. So, but I am like, it's a sense of fulfillment, of growing to, you should feel life. You feel life when you do things the way that God says to do them. You feel life, and that honors God. So, I do want to get to that. How does it reflect God, or how does it dishonor God? How does, do y'all have any thoughts on, I mean, obviously the obvious answer is when we don't work hard, it dishonors God. When we work hard, it honors God. Okay. Thanks for joining us. Right.
Well, Colossians 3:23 and 24 is the ultimate job description on how we're supposed to, whatever you do, work heartily as for the Lord and not for man.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of the clearest verses on work ethic there is.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I had, and what's weird is you will get some adversity over that sometimes. People get mad when you're working hard, when you're out working everybody else.
Yeah, everybody else wanting to chill. They're like, dude, just take a break.
That I had, when I was 19, I was assistant manager at Hardee's on the graveyard shift. And I don't know how to not do a job to the fullest. I don't even understand that. And I've never been that way, to where I just look at it and see what can I do to get past this situation. And so I got promoted to assistant manager pretty quickly, and I had employees under me. I was only 19. So you just don't garner much respect being 19. And these employees would make fun of me because I took my job too seriously. I took mopping the floor. Like, I would not leave unless everything was clean. If they didn't do it, I would just do it, because I did not know how to assert my authority. And I remember feeling so small back then. I think about it now. And by the way, one of those people I got to heartily fire, and that was wonderful. But that whole doing it will get you kicked. My daughter-in-law just recently was going through something similar at her job. She was doing the full job, and some of the girls there weren't doing their job, so she was kind of doing theirs too, and they got mad at her about it. She just wanted to make sure. She's a receptionist in the medical field, and there's clients, and she wanted to make sure that it was done. Mm-hmm. She does that. She's a hard worker. And boy, did she catch heat over that. They didn't want her doing all of that, even though they weren't doing it. She was making them look bad. So, but, and those things, her bosses loved her, by the way, and she was doing everything her best to the glory of God. It has served me well my whole life to just be that way. That's something that is built. It's not a struggle that I have, until recently, the one I just described at the beginning. And it really does that. Okay. We'll go back to the word that you were saying earlier of proud. You do feel like the Lord is, I don't know if that's the right word, but even the Lord, like, I'm doing it because you require excellence in everything that you do. Do it to the glory of God. So if you're doing all of that with excellence, you can feel.
Yeah, don't do it with the Exodus.
Not with Exodus.
Don't do that.
With excellence.
That
you can feel God's proud of you.
Yeah.
Or whatever the right word is. You can feel that from Him.
I like that. Do it with excellence, not with Exodus. Like, don't check out. Don't be checked out.
Exactly.
Be all in. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, Philippians 2:14, do all things without complaining or arguments, so that you will prove yourselves to be blameless and innocent. If we're going to stand out and we're going to be great in our work ethic as Christians, people are going to complain, people are going to gossip, but how else can we let our light shine than to keep our heads down and mop that floor in Hardee's when nobody else will, because you're representing Jesus in that moment.
Well, the Bible says the message of the cross is foolishness to the world.
Yeah.
And working hard is a subtle example of the message of the cross, the change that doing things that the world won't do and that they laugh at. Well, what's different? Maybe so it's foolishness to those that are resistant, rebellious and all that. But there's going to be the ones that say, "Hold up, what's going on there?" And you can tell the heart. I used to not embrace Twitter arguments, or Jared, I use Twitter for you. There you go. Or Facebook, social media arguments, or in general. I've embraced them more lately because I do see it as battleground. And as long as you do it rightly. And so I do it in the best way that I can, to not be prideful or arrogant. I have messed up a time or two and been snarky, and then basically somebody called me on it. That's obviously not Christian. They love to do that. Are you quoting Jesus on that one? Was a recent comment on, because clearly they went and looked at my Twitter page and saw all this righteous stuff.
Yeah.
I'm a child of God.
I just said, you know what, you're right. I'm wrong. My bad. That's it. But I can tell the difference on the ones who the message of the cross is foolishness. I had somebody tell me to shove Jesus up my blank, and very angry. Well, that dude clearly is not. Yeah, he's the message of the cross is foolishness, and I don't take it personal. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I see where you're at. Your heart's not. It's not right to receive the message of the gospel, and that's okay. I'm not going to be mad at you. But then I had other people who were more soft to it, and we're like, hey man, he's just making a point to what will help solve this divide, and so all this kind of stuff, that this conversation we were having. And so you can see the difference. They didn't, one was a Jew, and I think the other one was maybe Muslim, and but they were kind of taking my side. Their hearts were soft. Mm-hmm. Which means they're more open to. So the message of the cross is going to be foolish, including in our hard work. It's going to anger some people. Yeah, ones that are setting their hearts of stone and all that. But it's also it's gonna open the doors also where somebody says, "Hey." I mean, we may not even see it then, but it may be later on. Like, man, I remember that Jenny. She was a Christian, and she was 19, and she was promoted and didn't complain, just worked really hard, and people made fun of her, and it didn't stop her. There was something different about her. Maybe I should look into that. And we may never hear.
Who knows? May never see whatever the fruit.
I guarantee you, there's people that can look back today that you cross paths at Hardee's that I bet you they're like, she had to have been a Christian, especially if they've experienced Jesus. It's like that little kid I met at the baseball stadium that works for the sod poodles. Mm-hmm. I'm like, dude, you have to be a Christian. I just couldn't help but ask him because he was carrying himself. But when we were talking about working earlier, how else can you let your light shine? Matthew 5 tells us to let your light shine. How else can you than with the way you work and the way you carry yourself and the way you treat others and the way you respond to things under pressure? Mm. That's when your opportunity to let the light of Jesus shine, not by what you say, but it's how you work.
And not just how you work, but your attitude when you work. You see those people that are hard workers and they look there like they're mad at the world. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't think, I want to be like that person. I'd think, they're angry that they're having to do this. Like they grew up just hard workers, but they're mad at the world. You're scared to ask them anything. But the person that can, like, hey, it doesn't matter what the world throws at me. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to always keep a cheerful spirit. I'm going to be approachable, basically. In the good times and the bad, I'm going to be approachable. That is different.
Well, what if you hear something? This is interesting today I was meeting with a colleague, someone that's kind of consulting me in our industry about a whole nother train wreck. But he had bought a company. I was like, man, does this guy Chris still work for y'all? And he's like, no, he actually went to Pantex. And I was like, man, that dude, every time he came into our shop, he was like, I'm here to be your hero. I'm here. I mean, from a customer standpoint, man, we loved him. He's like, man, that guy was so talented. And our customers did love him, but nobody could stand to work with him. He was a tyrant, threw stuff against walls, kicked and screamed. And he said, our shop culture was terrible. It's phenomenal now, and we lost a great talent. And so that's the same side, the different side of the same coin, right?
Addition by subtraction. That's
because
crazy.
maybe our customers see us as this Christian ambassador.
Yeah.
But what do the people that work with us see?
Yeah.
And then even our coworkers are like, man, I wish she treated me, or I wish he treated me the way he treats our customers. He's a fraud. He's a fake.
Well, spouses, they're like, yeah, he's a great friend, but he's a horrible partner.
Yes.
You know? I had a buddy when I was young that he was such a fun friend, and everybody loved hanging out with him. And
were his initials MM?
MM. They were AH, but no.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, there's two of them then.
I thought you were going to say PS. But anyway.
We all have.
So if I had
everybody has it. Even people that are listening right now are like, oh, yeah, I know. No, it's SD. Yeah.
Yeah, they've got their own in their head.
But, great friend and then horrible to their spouse. Same type thing. You see people, I'd have never thought that guy, or I'd have never thought that gal would abuse her children like that. It's the same thing. In our workplaces, we have people that count on us and how we, and now it doesn't mean run around, be a pansy and a soft and a flower power with flowers in your hair. And no, that's not what I'm saying. People do have to be tough, but don't just be all tough. Don't just be all sandpaper all the time. People are going to get raw, but if somebody needs the rough edge rubbed off of them every now and then, okay, I'm going to get the sandpaper out a little bit. I don't think there's anything
but
wrong with that.
I don't know if I don't want to lose my final thought whenever we do final thought, so I'm going to say my final thought.
Jared, what's your final thought?
I just thought of this because I love the term. It's the two sides of the same coin or something like that.
Yeah, that's it.
And I'm like, my final thought is be sure both sides of your coin are polished, because you never know. If you have heads or tails, you don't know when never know when your tail's going to be
up in the air.
Make sure your tail looks good.
Yeah.
That's my
Put that shiny honey on it. Yeah. That's funny. Jim?
Yep. Okay. So earlier we were talking about vision. If you're in a place right now where you're just not sure how to get out of this rut that you've been in, that's maybe more lackadaisical or more lazy. We were talking about vision earlier. Yeah. I heard a saying recently that just resonated. I'd never heard it before, but it perfectly described what I believe is true. And he said, if you can see it, you can do it, which is vision. And there are so many things, so many ideas that I get that are either creatives or business ideas or something that I do. I see it first, and all of a sudden I'm off of my seat and I'm going to pull pieces together to make this vision a reality. And so if you don't have it, pray for that vision.
Yeah.
Pray for that vision. Lord, give me a way out of this rut that I'm in. Ask the Lord for some help with that. And then if you see something, maybe you've seen it for years, try to implement it. If you just see something that's not in reality, and I'll just give you an example, my house in Headley, our cottage in Headley, we've had to slowly but surely put that thing together. And we saw what we wanted. Several of us, Sean and I, and our partners in life, Ryan and April, we saw what we wanted. All of us together, we could see it. And we put our hands to work, including buying furniture for it, all of this. It's our house that we eat lunch in at church. And so that's kind of a more simple way. And you can even get more simple. Say you see a wood sign in front of your eyes and you can picture it. Go outside and find that piece of wood and start sanding. And put some stain on it and Google, how do I make that lacquer finish as smooth as the baby behind? Figure it out. If you can see it, you can do it. And that's how you can change something.
Yeah, that's good.
And if I can add one thought to that, that's a wonderful final thought. You can get the vision. So yes. I've been a person that's always thought, I'm just not a person of vision, this and that. That's not true. You just don't take the time to think about it. You don't take the time to spend in thought, write it down, critically think. You can do it. God didn't create us to not be able to think.
No.
Love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, minds, and strength. Minds. He gave you a mind for a reason. Spend time thinking about it. It might take a while. Think about it bit by bit. You don't have to get the whole vision in one night. So, yeah, vision is massive. My final thought would just be, so I had all these graphs and this and that up on my marker board at the office to help me to think you're going to be a thinker this way, you're going to think that way, and you can check mark off if you worked this kind of day and blah, blah, blah. And I thought about it. I thought, you know what? If I have to check mark off whether or not I did my job right for the day, that's leaving an out for me to not do my job right for the day. So I erased all that. I got spray, whatever I could, get it off my board. And then I just wrote the words on my marker board, the job's not done. And so it just reminds me anytime, because you have to build up endurance. You have to, if you're not used to doing these things, you're going to have days where you succeed and you thrive, and then you're going to have days where you break and you fail. Just don't do it more than one day in a row, where you mess up and you don't maybe work as hard, and you're going to have to train yourself. It's not going to feel natural at first. You're going to have to over time it will, but just like physical, you have to build up the mental endurance, all this kind of stuff. And so for me, I just Kobe Bryant said that when he was up 2-0 in the NBA finals, and a reporter asked him, why aren't you smiling? And he said, what's there to smile about? And he said, well, I thought you'd be happy that you're up 2-0. And Kobe said, the job's not done. There's still 2 more games to get. The job's not done. And I love that. And so I wrote that on my marker board the other day. I was exhausted. I had worked hard all day, probably had about an hour left. And I thought, oh yeah, I've earned the right to just coast on the rest of the day, this and that. And then I thought, I just happened to glance up and see that the job's not done on the marker board. And I knew there were some things that I thought I can make a few more calls before the end of the day. I landed 2 really big appointments that have gone incredibly well because I know I'm building that endurance. I need reminders. It's okay. Like, all right, I'm weak, but I know how to get there to train myself in a way that's going to honor God. You're going to have to train yourself though. It's going to be really hard at first. If you're used to, you're going to have to be diligent. You're going to have to be diligent. You're going to have vision, but it can be done. Don't let the devil or your flesh tell you otherwise. Yes, it can. Yes, you can.
Yep.
All right. I love it. That was awesome. Well, go ye into all the world and preach the gospel.
Amen.
Amen.